this week we're trying to replicate the 9 times table, which is pretty cool as a challenge. So let's take a look at our input data. We just have 2 rows of data, the numbers 1 and the number 9. So first things first, we want a row for each number. So we'll use a new rows step and we'll take the values from one field of this numbers field, and you see we now have the numbers 1 to 9. I'll create a dummy field now, so just a calculated field that has the number 1 within it, called dummy, just so that I can join my data back onto itself. So I do a self join here, so dummy equals dummy. Now I have 81 rows, so for number 1, for example, I get the numbers 1 to 9, and that happens for each of those numbers. Then it's quite easy to get my multiplications, so I just create this field called value, and it is the numbers times by that duplicated field that I made earlier. Okay, so now all we'd have to do is pivot our data so that we have these as the new columns and these as the values within those fields. But when I go to pivot and I try to do a rows to columns, I try and drag over my numbers -1 and it doesn't let me. It just doesn't let me put any values in that first bit. So okay, I'll split this up into 2 flows instead. I'll output my data now. Then I'll go into new prep workflow and I'll input the data here. So that's the same data set that we were just looking at. Then I'll do the pivot here instead, and this time you'll see that it works. Okay, so I've just rearranged so that that numbers field comes to the front again. But something that you'll notice here is that it's annoying. It's not in order. It's not going from 1 to 9 anymore. So okay, how can we change that so that our output looks the way that we want it to? We'll use a sneaky little trick where we rank on that number field. So if I just show that there, so we're doing a rank of ascending order of that numbers field, and we're just going to call it number and then remove the original numbers field. So then we have our 9 times table looking exactly how we want it to. So hopefully you enjoyed this challenge as a bit of fun, and thanks very much for watching.